Alright guys, so listen up, okay? I feel like my reviews so far haven't been up to par to what I want them to be. I don't like just doing the whole, let me tell you everything that happened on the episode and then leave off the video like that. Instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about the parts that mattered throughout the episode, the things that basically the episode wants to communicate to us, the important parts, essentially. That's what I want to talk about. I don't want to focus too much on the unimportant things, but I will kind of glance over them. You know, I'm not gonna skip them all together. I'm just gonna glance over them. So there were three things that caught my attention in this episode. Okay, it was the whole thing with Sarada wanting to be the Hokage. That's the first thing. The second thing was the whole Kage summit happening at the same time. And of course, the revelation we get after the Kage summit happens, or during the Kage summit. So just to start out with Sarada really quickly. She wants to be the Hokage. Now, let me tell you something. I'm not gonna say the episode was bad because of this, but I'm really not digging the fact that Sarada just keeps telling us that she wants to be the Hokage. It is very, very, very annoying. To me, at least, it's annoying because of the simple fact that we've already gone through this with Naruto, where he said that like a million times. So I get it. To the newer viewers, they might not be all that upset about it because they're not so used to hearing it. But for me, it was like, okay, I get it, Sarada. You want to be the Hokage now. It's okay to remind us here and there, you know, because the thing is, it's good to let people know what the goal is at the end of the day. And I understand that. I just hope that she doesn't become a Naruto 2.0 in the sense that everybody she meets is going to be like, hey, I'm Sarada. I'm going to be the next Hokage. You know, I don't want that to be the case. I want it to be able to be like, okay, I want to root for her. I want her to be Hokage. But I feel like if she mentions it too much, it'll be annoying. And pretty much it'll just turn me off from the whole character. Now, another thing I liked that I really want to just quickly talk about is the fact that it seems that Boruto is getting used to showing us the older cast, even if only for a little bit. And I really hope they continue that trend. I really hope that they have the older characters kind of play some small role, just a little bit of screen time, not too much, you know, not too little, just a little bit. Because I feel that at the end of the day, for the newer viewers, they need to understand that, you know, the Boruto's generation came to be because of these people, okay? And although it's all about Boruto now and his generation, I still want a reminder that this generation is here because of the previous generation. And I don't want them to, like, again, take too much screen time or anything. Just have them pop in and pop out here and there. That's all I'm asking for. And so far, they've kind of been delivering with that. So, no complaints. So, to the topic of the Kage Summit, we found out some good information. At least to me, I found it to be really useful information because it gives me kind of like a time frame of where we're standing at the moment. So Naruto, in front of the rest of the Kage, tell everybody it's been 15 years since the 4th Great Ninja War. So Naruto is about 32 years old because he became 17 at the end of the war. Right when it ended, he was 17. And then if you add up 15, you get the math, right? So I honestly didn't expect him to be so young. I honestly expected him to be about 40 years old. At the very least, late 30s. But he's very early 30s, which would put the rest of, the Konoha 11 from his generation at about the same age. Which means they had their kids very, very, very young, like, early 20s. Now, in general, I like the fact that they showcased the Kages. I loved Kurotsuchi, man. When she came out, I was like, bro, look at those pristine legs. Because she has the most pristine legs, man. And you know what? I get it. They wanted to showcase the Kage, making a flashy entrance. Honestly, that confused me a little bit. Because, you should just be heading towards the Hokage mansion, right? But like they each made an entrance in their own way. Like, for example, Darui came in with a bolt of lightning, and then Kurotsuchi came in with a big earth golem coming out of the ground. You know, like they had like their own little unique touch, which I kind of liked it. I think it was a little hype, but at the same time, I was like, what is this, man? What are you guys doing, man? Going down a catwalk or some shit? Like, I don't know. It just confused me a little bit, but it still was hype, so I ain't gonna complain. So we find out the main reason why the Kage Summit's happening, and that is because Sasuke has information on a parallel dimension, and apparently there's a being that's gonna be threatening the peace of the current nation, right? That is stronger than Kaguya. All right, so we find out a little bit of information about the Setsus. Turns out that they were made long, long, long before the current Kage were even born. Okay, so we knew this because of the manga. We know that, and because of the Boruto movie, rather, we know that the Setsus were created a long time ago, and that essentially what they're hinting at with this episode is momoshiki and kinshiki. I started thinking they're gonna have to recap the Boruto movie. Whether I want to or not, whether I want them to do it or not, it's gonna happen because I feel it's the best route for them to bridge the anime to the manga and to make the story a little more linear and make more sense. Because right now the manga, something's happening completely different than in the anime, and all the episodes that's happened in the anime, except for the Ninja Gaiden stuff, that's been pretty much original. You know, that's not something that's been in like manga or whatever. So I guess the best course of action is to recap the movie in the anime, so that way they can kind of bridge the story of what's going on in the manga to the anime, and then boom, right? But I want them to do it in like a few episodes tops. I don't want them to drag their feet. Just to give you guys an example, I don't want them to do it like Dragon Ball Super did with the Battle of Gods arc, because that was horrible. It was such a slow-paced recap, and I was just waiting for it to end, and a lot of people felt the same way. And that causes a loss of interest in the show itself, so I don't want them to do that. But if they are gonna recap the movie, please, 2 or 3 episodes, that's all we need. We don't need to know all the things that happen in the movie. Just, you know, basically summarize everything, do it quickly, and then boom, move on to the next thing. Alright? So, with that being said, you know, the big topic that happens when the whole momoshiki and kinshiki thing get hinted at is that this current generation, you know, Boruto's generation, might not be able to handle the specific threat if it happens after the current Kage's era. Okay? So basically, if momoshiki and kinshiki were to come through years later, because the time frame we were given here on this episode is that they could be coming in a few months or they be coming in a few years. So basically the time frame can't be pinpointed just yet. So essentially the big worry is if it happens to be a problem that Boruto's generation has to deal with, they might not be able to win because they were brought up in this really peaceful time where they really don't know conflict or the concept of war. So their skills might not be up to par to deal with that. And the way Naruto put it was actually very cool, because while he was explaining to the other Kage, listen, these kids will surpass us. They will become stronger than us because they have things like rivalry and friendly competition helping them push them to become stronger. And the other thing Naruto said is, you don't need conflict, you don't need war to make somebody, want to become stronger. And that was actually something that was basically thrown in our faces because it was emphasized with Chocho training with Choji. Inojin was also training with them. And then we had Boruto and Sarada kind of do like a small little sparring fight on top of the Hokage faces. They were basically showcasing, hey, listen, these kids will become a lot stronger than you think. Because the whole thing is that everybody feels that these kids are weak or will be weak because of the fact that they've been brought up in this peaceful time. And that's not really the case. We already know Boruto's going to be a badass. We know that most of the Konoha 11 are probably going to be a badass, right? So, anyways, that's really the end of the episode. I believe next episode is going to be the whole thing with the field trip, which should be pretty dope because, spoiler alert, there's going to be new characters, there's going to be new things that we're going to have to tackle, and we're going to get an entirely different scenery. So, I hope that it's worth it. I hope that this arc actually brings something, worth enjoying, worth watching, because I want them to continue the consistency that they've been going with so far. Anyways, guys, let me know if you like this newer way of doing reviews. I don't like going over every little detail, just explaining to you what happened on every episode. I feel like that's boring. So I'd rather just give you guys my take on the important bits, on the things that really did matter on the episode. But anyways, I'm gonna be done rambling. You guys let me know if you liked it. I'm out, guys. Peace.